My life changed in leadership when I realized that leadership does not have to be uncomfortable. So if you don't listen to anything else I say, I need you to hear this. Yes, leadership is uncomfortable. Listen, we're not sugarcoating anything over here. But it's only uncomfortable because you're allowing it to be uncomfortable. All you need to do is a few easy steps. Get your pen and paper because here we go with the secret sauce. So, the first thing I need you to consider is that we treat anxiety and being overwhelmed like it is an accessory or requirement or prerequisite for the job. What I'm telling you is it does not have to be that way. And the reason I know is because the moment I got a strategy, the moment I begin to look at things from a different perspective, is the moment I stop being overwhelmed in corporate America. So as long as you're in that particular mode, then you'll be hiding. And what do I mean by hiding? I see leaders every day who answer every single email. They put out all the fires. They've got to jump in where they don't belong because they don't have any boundaries. And the real reason why this is happening and the real reason why you're in survival mode and you're not thriving is because you don't want to feel useless. You want to ensure that you keep your job. It's called job hugging. And let's take this a step further. You feel like if you are not putting out fires, then you are no longer needed within your role. And that simply is not the case. You're staying in the weeds because it feels safe. It's predictable. You stay in the weeds. You want to be the person that is the what I like to call the executioner, the one that is continually in the weeds, the task rabbit. The interesting part is that the moment you decide that you want to do strategy is the moment you get extremely nervous. And here's why. Because if you actually had a strategy, that means it will reveal who you are as a leader. So let's look at it like this. If I put you in a room with your team, no laptop, no notes, nothing but just you and your team, who would you be as a leader? What sort of leader are you? What sort of conversation would you have with your team? I need you to begin to think about that. And here's why. Because you continually say to your peers and your family that you want to move up, right? Because you're sick of being in survival mode. But yet, when I present you with a strategy that you can actually use, you don't take it and run with it. You fumble the ball. And the reason you fumble the ball deep down is because you're actually scared to move up to that next level where you have to use strategy and you have to be a leader of the business. It all boils down to one thing: your leadership identity. That's it. So you're compensating doing all that work and tons of work being the task rabbit. You're compensating that because you're scared of the strategy. You're scared of the strategy because you don't know who you are as a leader. You don't know who you are as a leader because you've never really known that and you haven't been trained on how to deal with your team, period. So since you don't know it, since you don't know who you are from a leadership identity perspective, then you continue to remain the task rabbit. And as long as you're the task rabbit, you're safe. And as long as you're safe, that means things that can't get messy. And as long as things aren't messy, then you feel comfortable. So now here's your secret sauce. Leadership stops being uncomfortable when you stop being the best contributor, individual contributor, and the best guide, meaning a leader. That's when it gets better. Now, if you need more, this is what we're talking about. I don't just give you task. We're not talking about task in our one-on-one. We're talking about real live coaching sessions where we strip away the old personality and we usher in the new personality and help you understand who you are. The reason you're not connecting the dots, the reason you don't know the game, the reason you're not playing the game in corporate. And let's be clear, let's reframe this. The game simply means that you're able to walk in and get things done in a way that you are your authentic self. You know who you are. You have executive presence. You can influence without direct authority or that title, and then you can scale your leadership. That's it. If you can't do those pieces, then that's where I come in. And if you need more, this is where it's at, DanieSheldon.net. One-on-one coachings are not just tasks. This is a real life strategy that you work with on the job, independently, right then and there. So that's why when we talk about 8 weeks and 12-week leadership sessions, it's because you're having strategy in every single session. And then I'm looking for you to implement and apply it. And then once you implement and apply it, then you see the results of what happens when you have a strategy. It's not hard. You're just not able to do it because you don't have a strategy and you're in survival mode instead of thriving. If you need more, DanieSheldon.net. And let's take it a step further. In class in January, that's one of the pieces we're talking about. That's the very first piece we're talking about, your leadership identity. The moment you know who you are, that's the moment we get the ball rolling on your leadership. Because right now you're not being a leader, you're just being an individual contributor. Let's start adjusting. Let's start doing things differently. Let's start with a strategy. Like, comment, follow for more, and let me know in the comments what you're having a challenge with. And oh, by the way, happy leading.